What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to another Battlefield 6 gun guide. In today's episode, we're going to be diving deep into the stats of the RPKM LMG, and toward the end of the video, I'm going to be sharing a few excellent attachment combinations to try out. And starting it off, as always, let's have a look at our raw power potential, and our rate of fire with this is 553 rounds per minute, so definitely on the slower side for an LMG. And interestingly, we have a very unique damage profile for the LMG category at least, because we have 5 different damage ranges, whereas most LMGs only have 3 damage ranges. Now with this, it is going to be a 3-shot kill up close, and that will eventually drop off to a 6-shot kill once you get beyond 75 meters. And what this means for our time to kill potential is up close, it's quite good for an LMG at 217 milliseconds, but as you'll see, that's a significantly shorter range than what most of the other LMGs have for their maximum damage range. And then as we get out to a distance, we definitely have a slower than average time to kill, a very noticeably slower than average time to kill relative to the other LMGs. Then when it comes to headshots, this gun's actually pretty decent with headshots by default, not necessarily in the maximum damage range, but in the next 2 damage ranges, so from 9.5 meters up to 37.5 meters, you only need to mix 2 headshots in to reduce the number of shots to kill, and again, that's without any special ammo. Now, if you do use special ammo, like hollow point for instance, up close, you're actually capable of getting a 2-shot kill to the head if both shots hit the head for a really fast time to kill at 108 milliseconds. And then hollow point also just maintains nice headshot consistency once you get to longer ranges as well, because that's where your base headshot multiplier really falls apart. Now after that, let's have a look at our damage range comparison. And as I said, this gun is very unique. And as you can see, our maximum damage range is only 9.5 meters. That's noticeably shorter than every other LMG in the game. So you may be excelling relative to the others in like point blank situations, but as you get to those mid ranges, this is where this gun does fall behind the rest. But of course, especially in Battlefield, not everything is about time to kill as long as you're not way off in the time to kill department. And this gun has some really nice strength, so I wouldn't write it off completely because of this. Next, let's have a look at our velocity value, which is not the worst in the LMG category, but it's also below average. It's not amazing at 670 meters per second. And therefore that may hold you back if you're stretching your ranges out a bit, especially against moving targets, unless you're using an extended barrel. And then when it comes to hipfire, we've just got standard LMG hipfire, which means hipfiring is generally not very good with this gun. Although with it having a 3-shot kill potential up close, if you are within that 9.5 meters, you can definitely get away with hipfiring just fine. Now, after that, let's get into one of the big upsides with this gun, and that is recoil. This gun is quite accurate, as you can see. In fact, it's got the second best recoil pattern in the LMG category. It's only beat by the KTS, and the KTS kills very noticeably slower up close, and even at a distance where the RPKM really falls off in its time to kill potential, the KTS is still worse at range. So that's a trade-off you're making here with the RPK. It's a very accurate LMG that kills faster than the most accurate LMG, and also has a really nice potential in very close quarter situations, which really helps lean into versatility with this gun. At a distance, you may be killing slower than most of the other LMGs, but you're more likely to be hitting your shots. Now, after that, let's get into another strength with this gun, and that is handling. By default, we're tied as having the fastest aim down sight speed in the LMG category, with the DRS IAR at 300 milliseconds. And that's quite good for an LMG. However, this does come at a cost. Our magazine capacity by default is just 40 rounds, which at least is better than the DRS, but relative to the other LMGs, it's a bit on the lower side. However, when you factor in the reload time at 2.8 seconds, that is quite solid for an LMG and noticeably faster than most of the other LMGs that have like a 50 round mag, for instance. So this is yet another area that really goes to show that the RPKM is designed for a bit more versatility within the LMG category, because this handling allows you to be more aggressive and you don't have to plan your reloads out quite as much as you would with the other LMGs. In saying that though, mobility-wise, we do have standard LMG mobility, and that means your aim walking speed is going to be quite slow by default. And your sprint speed is also slow by default unless you're combining this with support, which will bring you back up to the standard sprint speed of the other weapon categories. And with that, that just leaves us with our REDSEC stats, and against 2 armor plates, this gun is going to be a 6 to 11 shot kill once you get out to a distance. And with that 6-shot kill, if you're right up close, we're killing faster than average for an LMG. However, at a range with 11 shots to kill, that is going to take quite some time, and we're killing noticeably slower than average for an LMG. But then again, as we saw earlier, this gun is accurate, and accuracy is quite important if you're looking at those long-range fights. So while it may take 11 shots to kill, you're more likely to be hitting your shots more consistently, and therefore, on paper at least, the RPKM does seem like a pretty decent option in REDSEC, but not likely to be the best option out there. And there we go. That's going to wrap it up for all of the base stats of this gun. Now let's get into some excellent attachment combinations. And the first one I wanted to share for you guys is what I like to call my balanced aggression build. So we're leaning into some of the strengths of this gun with its faster handling stats. And with this, we're using the Mini Flex Optic, the 50 milliwatt blue laser to help with hip fire, as well as our spread when moving and aiming down sight. So that allows us to strafe in gunfights and maintain some more accuracy. Then on top of that, we have the standard suppressor on there to stay off the radar and not self-spot ourselves every time we pull a trigger. We've got the heavy extended barrel on here, which might seem counterintuitive to a more aggressive build, but as I said, this is a balanced aggression build, so I want to squeeze out that muzzle velocity, and the heavy portion of this tightens up your spread in general, and therefore it allows you to be very accurate at a distance as well, so if you do need to take that long-range fight, you can absolutely do that with this build. Then for our underbarrel, I'm rocking the slim angled, partially for a little bit of recoil control, but primarily to help with our aim down sight speed. And with this, we're actually getting our aim down sight time down to 250 milliseconds. That's assault rifle territory, so this is going to feel and behave a lot like an assault rifle, but generally more accurate than many of the ARs in the game. Now on top of that, also allowing us to get that faster aim down sight time, we're using the 30 round fast mag, which gives us a slightly faster reload and improves our handling stats. And I really don't mind using a smaller mag on this because our rate of fire is quite low. And therefore, it's not like you're burning through these mags like instantly or anything. It's very reasonable with a 30 round mag. And then we're finally just topping this one off with our standard ammo. And this is just a nice, really versatile build to use. It's my personal favorite by far when using the RPKM. However, sometimes I want to lean a bit more into distance fights and headshots. So that's where my accurate headshot build comes in. And with this one, I'm using the ROM 1.75 optic. That's my preferred slightly higher zoom optic. I still don't like zooming in way too far, even if I'm taking long range fights. This time I've got the long suppressor because it also helps a little bit with our recoil buildup. We're once again using that heavy extended barrel because there's excellent long range benefits there. For our underbarrel, we have the canted stubby, which gives us a pretty decent amount of recoil control while also helping to keep our aim down sight time at 300 milliseconds rather than increasing it. And then for our magazine, we just got the standard 40 round mag. And then finally, we're using hollow points ammo on this just to maintain more headshot consistency, because at all ranges, you now just need to mix 2 headshots in order to reduce the number of shots to kill. And there we have it. That's going to wrap it up today's gun guide on the RPKM. And when it comes to my thoughts on this gun, well, sometimes it can feel a bit like a pea shooter, and I just wish I had a little more time to kill potential there, because I will sometimes get outgunned by other guns, even when I shoot first and on target. At the end of the day, it does have a lot of versatility to it. You can really hold your own very well in very close quarter situations, while also performing very well at a distance due to its accuracy. I would say it mainly just struggles at mid-range, where the faster killing guns are still more than accurate enough to not have to worry about their higher recoil. Now, of course, those are just my thoughts on the RPKM, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about this LMG in those comments down below. And if you guys have missed any of the previous gun guides, I will leave a link to the playlist in the description of the video. If you enjoyed this one, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.